Okay, so we'll go ahead and get started. So, namaste and welcome everyone for joining today's session. If you need, then please have a cushion handy, and you can actually sit on that to just raise a little bit height to sit in upright position. And in today's session, we might be needing a couple of blocks. If you have belt, that would be beneficial, and the chair, and we might use a little bit of wall support. So with that, um, let's go ahead. A few precautions, like basically this is a generic yoga. All are welcome to join, but at the same time, if you have any kind of limitations, I encourage you to talk to your doctor before proceeding with any of the specific practices. And in the entire session, just respect your limits. So if you think that, okay, I cannot go further, that's okay. You can just relax, pause there. You can come back to any resting pose, and that would be more beneficial. So with that, let's do a little bit of stretching, and then we'll begin the session. So interlacing your fingers. Actually, we are going to sit in Vajrasana today. So knees are bent, and then the ankles, instead of crossing them, yes, it is easier to cross and sit on that versus making them straight. And again, it will put a lot of pressure, and then this gap comes down. So again, see if that is accessible to you, or if you want to use a block in between just to raise the height and separate the heels, that is also an option. That becomes a Virasana. So in Vajrasana, we are interlacing the fingers, palm facing up, raising them high. So first we are lengthening the spine. Raise, reach. Good. Bending onto the left side. And come back to center. Again, reach high. Notice that you might be holding the breath, and it happens, and then you just release, and then take a deep breath in. Inhale, raise high, exhale, bend to the right side. Good. Come back to the center. Again, raise, lengthen the spine. Good. Inhale, once again, raise, and then exhale, twist. So right palm resting onto the left knee, left palm, this supporting the back, and twist, gentle twist. Good. Come back to the center, and then once again, raise it. And then twisting on the other side. Awesome. And then come back to center. Once again, lengthening the spine. And then release. Now, this is when you might want to consider sitting on Vajrasana, or if you prefer the cross-legged position, that's perfectly fine. In either case, we are going to adopt the Chin Mudra, tip of the finger touching, tip of the index finger touching the tip of the thumb, and back of the palm is resting on the thighs. We'll close our eyes. We'll broaden our shoulders a little bit. Let the elbows hang heavy. Skin of the face is relaxed. Just check the state of the body and the mind. Now let's begin today's session with one single sound of Om, followed by opening prayer. Receive a deep full breath in. Feeling the vibrations of Omkara. And we'll come into the heart center in prayer position. Together we are going to chant. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karvavahe Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahe. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Releasing the hands. And very gently. So once again, welcome you all. As I messaged in the group, today's session we are going to give a little bit more emphasis on to the Yogasana poses, which would benefit anybody who is facing the back pain issue. And there was a time when even myself was having that problem of a little bit back pain, and then practice different yogasanas. So again, these are not the only yoga poses that a person having the back pain should practice. They should explore and practice other yoga poses as well. And again, for today's session, it is like for other folks who do not have the back pain, please feel free, continue the practice and join. This is for everyone. So we are not trying to address any particular ailment in here and not trying to cure. But again, these yoga poses will help you manage if you're facing the back pain. So emphasis on that. Again, one more thing is like, especially people suffering from the back pain, lower back pain or so, while lifting the weights, just be very cautious, because many of us, like, if we bend the back and lift the weight, that alleviates the back pain, versus bending the knees, coming down. So if I need to demo, so bending the knees, lifting the weight and coming back up, that is more advisable than rounding the spine and the entire weight to be on the back. So one very important advice. Generally, all the back bends in Yogasana are beneficial. In forward fold, any forward bend, please be careful and cautious, because please do not force yourself on the forward fold if you are having that back issue. It needs to be very careful and gentle. And again, bend from the pelvic region. So from front of the thigh, front of the hip, move forward. So chest forward and down instead of rounding and down. So you just want to avoid that. Pranayama and meditation, they also really help. So again, we'll see if time permits. If not, then at least the Yogasana practices. So with that, let's start our practice. Come down onto your floor. So tabletop position. Wrist right below the shoulder, knees right below the hip. And very gently, we are dropping the belly while we inhale, and the gaze goes all the way up. And then exhale, tucking the tailbone and rounding the spine, gaze to the navel. Let's do it few rounds of Marjariyasana. Make it as slow and deep as possible. We are loosening the muscles in the back region. The next time you're going up, try to bring the belly further down and raise your head further up. So make an effort. Stay there. Good. And then round the spine into the chest. And again, make an effort to go further deeper into the pose. Good, come back to center. Neutral spine, and then we are taking the right hand to the front, reach to the front, so lengthening from the right side. Left leg will go back and it is at the hip height, and we are pressing the wall in the back. It's a virtual wall. So again, right hand to the front, left leg to the back. Reach. On both the sides, lengthening that spine. And then bend the knee and hold the knee, kicking the knee, and shoulder comes towards the ceiling. So we are still working on the same side. The right hand holding the left leg. And then release. Let's do the same thing on the other side. Left hand will go into the front, reach, trying to get hold of something in the front. And then the right leg, left hand and right leg. So left hand is reaching to the front, right leg is pressing the virtual wall in the back. Lengthen. Lengthen from left to the front, right to the back. Good. And then bend the knee and kick the knee to raise. Good. And then slowly come down. Back to the tabletop position. Here we are into the neutral spine and we are going to do side bends. So left shoulder come close to the left hip, right shoulder come close to the right hip. So we are swinging side to side. So it's neutral spine, but we are bending towards the left side, we are bending towards the right side. Do one more round on either side. Good. Come back to the neutral spine. Then we are going to bring our hands a little bit towards the front and close your eyes, bring your attention to the sit bone, and then make circles with the sit bones. So circling and making the circles with your hips, making them as big as possible. Good. Relieving any tension in the lower back region. And changing the direction. Two more rounds. Big and do it slowly and make it as big as possible. And come back to center. Now we are going to separate our knees, heels together, and rest onto our heels, forehead down onto the mat. So we are into the child's pose. Allow the breath to settle. Eyes can remain closed. Come back up. Now again we are into the tabletop position. This time we are bringing our right hand at the middle, which is just below the throat. So it is at the center. And the left hand is going to be raised high. So the left shoulder is on top of the right shoulder. Reach high. Reach, 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 reach high. And then swing the hand, left hand below the trunk. So we are swinging. Now left shoulder is down onto the mat and right shoulder is at the top. And then right hand, we are taking it into the front. Notice the sit bones are still stand on top of the knee and left hand is straight outward, the right hand is going into the front. So notice what is happening to the spine. It is twisted. Before twisting, the one important thing we need to do is lengthening. So we did the lengthening and now we are twisting. Good. So right hand can remain into the front, or you can wrap it around the back, lower back, and right shoulder will come up, left shoulder is rested on. Stay there for one more deep inhalation and exhalation. And then press onto the mat and slowly lift yourself up. The same thing we are going to do onto the other side. So this time, the left hand is rested just below the pit of the throat in the center. Right hand is going to reach high. Good. Take it as up as possible. So here the right shoulder is stacked on top of the left shoulder. And then we are going to swing. So right arm is swing, comes below the trunk and cross over. So the right shoulder is down onto the mat. Left shoulder is stacked on top of the right shoulder. And then we are walking our left fingers into the front. Good. Enjoy this thread the needle pose. Staying there so you can keep your left hand overhand, or you can take it below the back. Right shoulder is down onto the mat, left shoulder is lifted high. We'll take one more deep inhalation and exhalation here. Slowly and gently unwind. Again, press the mat, lift yourself up, and come to, again, tabletop position. Good. Now, from here, we are going to take our hands a little bit into the front. So hips are still stacked on the knee, and we'll come down. So since our arms are up in the front, it is giving a little bit of back bend in our spine. If it allows you, then bring the forehead onto the mat. If it doesn't, that's perfectly fine. So once again, sit bones are stacked on top of the knees, and we are coming down onto the mat. The forehead is down onto the mat. Rest of the arms are in the front. Good. Now slowly come back up. In here, we are coming onto our fingertips and walking our fingers to the left side. Notice a beautiful stretch onto the right side of the body. Again, adopt a deep inhalation and exhalation throughout the session. Good, come back to the center. And then taking the fingertips to the left, to the right side this time. So notice we are not in Shashankasana. The sit bones are not onto the heels. They are still stacked on top of the knees. So that's what makes it a little bit more challenging. But what we are getting in this pose is the side stretches, lengthening of the spine sideways and coming back to the center slowly. Again, walking the fingers forward, lengthening this entire spine. Good. And that is when we are actually going to go to the child's pose, wherein we are going to rest onto the heels. Now knees are together, and then fold the forearm. Rest the forehead onto the forearm. Take a couple of breaths. Slowly come back up. So what happens is the back muscles does require the necessary stretch for the gluteus muscles or even the hamstring. We are sitting onto the chair for long, and that's what tightens these muscles, and that creates the back pain. So let's do the next asana, wherein from tabletop position, I invite you to bring the right foot into the front. So right foot is in the front. Now tuck the left toes under, lift the left knee off the mat, wiggle the left leg all the way as far back as possible. Good. You only need to go as far as the knee would still be, the right knee is on top of the ankle. If you are leaning back, then just stop. So this is stacked, and then slowly bring it down. You will feel a wonderful stretch onto the hamstring, and then on the hamstring and the hip muscles. Now, if you have blocks, you can bring them by the side. Roll the back toe tucked under, hands will come onto the front knee, push yourself up. Good. So you are standing onto your knee, and then taking your, interlacing your fingers, palm facing up. Raise them high. If balancing is an issue, that is when you want to access your blocks and stay there. But if you can balance, raise it high, lengthening the spine and bending onto the left side and bending towards the right side. Come back to the center. Right hand will rest onto the block, and left hand will bend onto the right side. Left hand will rest onto the block, and then we are bending onto the left side. Good, beautiful. And then come down. This time we are slanted, so left hand is planted next to the right foot. And then right hand will go up towards the ceiling. So what this is doing is, this is twisting the spine. So we lengthen the spine and then twist the spine. Here, important thing to notice is knee need not pop out to the side. Front knee is still stacked on top of the ankle. Good. Stay there. One more breath. And then slowly take it down. Release. The same thing we are going to do onto the other side. So that left foot is in the front, and we are going to tuck the right toes, take the right foot as far back as possible, and then slowly lower it down. Blocks by the side for easy access. Hand will come onto the knee. Press ourselves up. Good. Once you find that balance, then you can interlace fingers, palm facing up, reach high. You can do the left bend, come back to center, extend it high, go to the right side, Come back to center, extend it high, use the blocks, left hand, press it onto the block, and bending towards the left side. The same thing onto the other side, the right hand rested on the block, and bending towards the right side. Good. The next is the right hand is rested next to the left foot and left hand is reaching high. Again, the knee, the front knee needs to continue to remain steady on top of that. Stay there for one more breath. Deep inhalation and exhalation. As you exhale, lower it down. And we are going to take the foot in the back. Once again, we are going to go to Shashankasana. So we want to settle down. In this time, in Shashankasana, when we are going, knees are together, we are rested onto the heels, and arms we are going to take in the back and palm facing up. So shoulders are completely collapsed. Forehead might be rested onto the mat. And just allowing the body to completely relax. Slowly come back up. What we are going to do, the next is, we are going to continue our journey from tabletop position. So you'll start from here and tuck the toes under. Inhale, and as you exhale, lift your sit bones up and back. So your upper body is in straight line. So the wrist, elbow, shoulder, the entire spine is in straight line. If you cannot bring your heel down onto the mat, it's perfectly fine. You can bend the knees, but bring your chest as close to the thigh as possible. Good. Stay there for another breath. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Here, the lengthening, again, we are focusing on the lengthening. So the sit bones are reaching high as possible. Now separate your feet, at least the mat width distance apart. In here, the left hand will come rest in the center. The right hand will go and hold the left ankle. And then we are going to peep out from left armpit all the way up towards the ceiling. So we are gazing from left armpit up toward the ceiling. Stay there. One more breath. Good. And then slowly change. So the right hand is going to come into the center, and just make sure your mat is not skidding, right? And then we are pressing ourselves, and then right hand or left hand is holding the right ankle this time. And gaze goes all the way from right armpit up towards the ceiling. Again, it could be a little bit challenging. Feel free to try. Staying there for one more breath. And then release. Again, come down onto the knees and take a few breaths into Shashankasana. We want the breath to completely settle. We want the heartbeat to come down. Good. Coming back to the tabletop position, tuck the toes under And then again back to Ardha Mukha Svanasana. This time we are going to keep the pressure from chest to the thigh and going to slowly walk the feet onto the mat at the same place. So we are just bending one or alternate knees. So one heel is coming down onto the mat while the other knee is bent. And then we are actually going to walk the feet onto the mat and come to forward fold, Uttanasana. Here you can separate your legs, maybe feet apart, hold your elbows, close your eyes, and gently swing up and down, very gently, and then side to side. And notice the stimulation that you're finding on your lower back. So you are going up and down very gently, and then side to side, you're swinging side to side. Head will hang heavy. Knees are slightly bent. If finding the balance is a problem, then you can definitely keep your eyes open. Slowly opening your eyes. Now walk your fingers onto the feet. And then very gently come to a standing position. Very nice. So here, first find comfort in the standing position. So once you are comfortable and got adjusted to the standing, because we are initially doing all the sitting poses, interlace your fingers, palm facing up, raise them high. Notice in today's session, it's mainly the lengthening and twisting, and some of the, we do back bends as well. We do side bends and back bends and all that. Very gently come onto your toes and lengthen. Reach high, and you're standing onto the toes. Again, to balance, you need to fix your gaze on something in the front, which is not moving. So just pick a point onto the front wall and then fix your gaze on that. Reach, lengthen. And then release. So now we are still standing, arms are still up, but we are not onto our toes. So the entire, both the feet are flat. And then once again, we are lengthening and we are bending to the sideways. So bending to the left side, Ardha Kati Chakrasana. Here, the gaze can be into the front, or you can turn the head and bring the gaze up towards the ceiling. Good, come back to the center. Length. Reach, and then the same is on the other side. Gaze to the center, or gaze up towards the ceiling. Notice we are not trying to shrink in here. We are lengthening, we are going diagonally, opposite. Good. Come back to center. Once again. Lengthen and release. Release any tension in the arm region or maybe in the leg region. What we are going to do is, if you want to utilize the wall, you can. If not, that's perfectly fine. I will show how you can do that. We are doing the triangle pose using the wall. So for that, separate your legs. We are almost I'm almost 3 or 4 inches away from the wall. And then the right toe I'm pointing towards the right side. So it is parallel to the mat. Left side of the toes are 45 degrees outward. And I'm slowly now leaning back. So I'm resting my back onto the wall, arms straight, and then reaching to the front and then slowly coming down. So right hand is coming rested onto the shin, left hand is going up towards the ceiling. Since I'm leaning onto the wall, so the posture will remain correct. Because many a times what people do is they lean forward while doing that. And we want to avoid, and that's why we would lean back onto the wall and gaze on. Slowly allow yourselves to come down as much as you can. Again, we are not forcing here. Notice the stretch that this pose is bringing on to the lower back. Good. Slowly come back up. The same thing is on the other side. So this time, the left toes are pointing towards the left side, parallel to the mat. Right side of toes are pointing 45 degrees outward. And arms straight, lean onto the wall, slowly reach to the front. Reach, 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 reach. And then slowly bring the left hand down, the right hand all the way up. Gaze up towards the ceiling. Again, very beautiful stretch onto the lower back onto the right side of the foot. Stay there for a couple of movements. Try to reach up towards the ceiling and then come back up. And then release. We are facing to the front and come to the center. Now, separate your legs, maybe 1.5 feet apart. Shoulders goes from front all the way up, back, all the way down, palm facing forward, and very gently close. So we are just trying to settle in, allowing the body to take the full effect of the Yogasana practice. Gently open your eyes. If you have chair, then you can use that. And if you don't, probably you can just follow the steps without holding the chair, that's all. You're holding the chair with both the arms, with both the hands, slowly walking back and coming to that 90-degree pose. So the entire upper body is at 90 degrees with our legs. And chest is continuing to come down. So here we are separating our legs. So both the feet are at least mat width distance apart. Continue to come down. Staying this in Sampurna Asana. Slowly bringing them back into the center, legs are back into the center. And then take the right leg back, raise it high. And again, holding the chair is going to allow us to stay or remain into the balanced position. So raise the right leg at least as high as your body allows, or if you can, all the way up to the hip height. So we are doing Virabhadrasana 3 using the chair, and bring it down. And let's take the left leg high. Good. Taking as high as you can. Notice the back muscles are working to keep the leg lifted high, and that's what is strengthening the back muscles. Stay there for one. Slowly bring it down. And then walk back to the chair. Good. Release any tension. We are going to continue to use the chair. First, bring your hands onto the hip, and this time elbows come close to each other. What it does is broaden the chest, and crown of the head is reaching up towards the ceiling. So we got the posture right. From here, the right hand will come rest onto the chair, left knee is bent, and you are holding the toe, kicking the leg all the way back. So if without holding the chair, you can come to Natarajasana, then you can bring the hand all the way into the front. You can bend down a little bit while continuing to kick the leg. Or if balancing is an issue, then you can hold the chair. Slowly come down. And notice we are doing a lot of back bends. So Natarajasana, again, it is a back bend. Again, finding that stable, tall position. Finding the stillness of the body and the mind. And then hold the chair. From right hand, we are kicking the right toes back. Fix your gaze into the front to find that balance. And once the body is completely balanced, then you can lift the left hand. Deep inhalation, keep the leg in the back. And slowly as you exhale, release. Release the tension in the leg region. Okay. So let's take a quick water break. Well, now the chair is facing us. We are standing 3 to maybe 2 or 3 feet away from the chair, and then bringing our heel, right heel onto the chair. In here, again, we're not bending or rounding the spine. We are, the entire spine is in straight, and then we are hinging from the pelvic region, and then with the chest forward, we are coming down. Just notice the stretch that you will find in your hamstring. Only however much you can go. As I mentioned, forward bend or forward fold, one has to be very careful if you have the back pain. Your hand can come and rest on the chair if you would like. So this will stimulate the hamstring, the hip muscles and all that, which is necessary to release any stiffness since we sit onto the chair for quite a lot. Good. Slowly come back. The same thing is on the other side. This time, left heel is rested onto the chair. Slowly first lengthening and then hinging from the pelvic region, chest forward without rounding spine. Spine is in straight line. Slowly come down. Very slowly, chest forward and hold the chair if you decide. So spine is straight, both the legs are straight. You can breathe in through the nose and exhale through the mouth to tell your body to relax. And notice that when you exhale through the mouth, the body slowly relaxes. Then slowly release. Come back to standing and release. Awesome. We are going to sit onto the chair. After standing, let's enjoy a little bit of sitting. Right hand will, so knees are separated wide. The right hand will come rest into the center, and then left hand will go all the way up towards the ceiling. So attention is onto the knees, spread them wide. The right hand down, left hand all the way up. Again, we are not rounding the spine, we are twisting the spine. These are two different things. Good. And then left hand will replace the right. Right hand goes all the way up. Reach high. Reach. And then slowly come back to the center. If you have a block, then I invite you to take a block. We are seated sideways onto the chair. So instead of sitting to the front, we are seated to the side. We are keeping one block between our knees and seated in the upright position. Left hand will hold the left side, or you're just holding the back support of the chair and very gently twisting yourself. So the spine is in straight line and very gentle twist. Please do not overdo. Very gentle twist. Gaze all the way back. Good. The same thing is on to the other side. So holding the block between the knees and first finding our spine in the upright position, using the back support of the chair, which would allow us to twist. Very nice. Slowly unwind. Okay. And we can release the chair into the side. Very gently, we are going to come down onto our mat. So let me adjust. So from here, we are seated. So from standing to chair, down to the mat. Once again, find the stillness while seated. We are changing our positions. So first feel comfortable. Then from here, first legs are into the front, and then we bend the left leg, knee facing into the front, and heel is coming towards the right side. The right knee is bent and it is facing up. If it is accessible for you to bring the foot onto the other side of the knee, then I invite you to do that. If you just cannot bring, then keep it onto the same side. So, foot comes to the left side, the right knee is facing up towards the ceiling, and then spine is in straight line. Left hand will go all the way up, reaching high, and then cross. So the elbow is crossing left elbow, right knee. They're crossing each other, and it is allowing us to twist. Right hand is supporting the back so that the spine is in straight line. So spine is in straight, and then elbow is crossing the knee and allowing us to twist. Spread all the fingers wide and very gently twist. So twisting from the navel, good, and then torso is twisted, and then gaze all the way back. We are in blue, Ardha Matsyendrasana. Very nice, and then slowly release. Very beneficial for people suffering from the back pain. The same thing is on the other side. So right knee is down onto the mat, rested, and then heel is onto the left side. Left knee is facing up towards the front, up towards the ceiling, and then left foot can remain onto the left side, or if it is accessible to you, bring it to the right. Right hand will reach high. Reach, and then cross the knee and the elbow. So right elbow, left knee. Left hand will go rest in the back, which will allow us to straighten our spine and then slowly twist. So bring your attention to the navel, twist the navel, attention comes to the torso, very gently twist, and then gaze all the way back. And spread your palm and the fingers wide. Half Lord of the Fish pose. Very gently unwind. Good. Now, slowly we are going to come back to in a diamond shape, bring the legs into a diamond shape. And then hold the toes, bring the heel close to the perineum as much as you can. Sit in upright position. So if this is really challenging for some of us, right? Don't hesitate to use a cushion below the seat. The time your seat is a little bit higher, it would be much more comfortable for you to bring the heel close and then bring the knees down. We are in upright position and then butterfly. Loosening of the lower back region, any stiffness. As much as you can. Bring the knees down. making that effort. Now, slowly use the cushion, whether it's a bed sheet, it would be towel, it would be anything. And then we are standing on the knees on the cushion. Hands will come onto the hip. You can bring it in such a way that fingers are pointing down, supporting the lower back. And tuck the toes under. Inhalation, lengthening the spine. Exhalation, slowly pelvic region come forward. And gaze goes out. So, Ardha Ustrasana. Here the elbows will come close to each other. Staying there. Keep your eyes open so that you still remain balanced. Center. Now the right hand will go and hold on to the right heel. Left hand will go up towards the ceiling. Gaze up towards the ceiling. And notice that you can lean a little bit more further back. Pelvic region coming forward. Gaze up. Lean back. And the same thing on the other side. The left hand will go, rest onto the left heel. The right hand will raise high towards the ceiling. Pelvic region come forward, gaze up. Enjoy the variation of Ustrasana. Slowly come down. We are going to rest in child's pose. So, knees together, rest around the feet, down on the mat. Take a few resting breaths. Slowly come back up. You can release. We are going to come down onto our mat on our bellies very gently. Cross your arm, separate your legs, heels inward, toes outward, and then resting onto the forearms. This is Makarasana, crocodile pose. Notice just by resting on this, that this itself is a very gentle back bend. Now we'll make it active. So elbows separated, and then we are supporting our chin, both the sides of the chin. So this again, this is a little bit active pose, and you can notice that this is a little bit deeper back bend. As I mentioned, back bends are beneficial to release any back pain. From here, we are going to bring the elbows right below the shoulder, and then just interlace the fingers in the front and bring both the legs close to each other. Toes pointed in the back. So legs are close to each other, toes pointed at the back. Elbows right below the shoulder. And we are, instead of dumping our weight down, we are lifting ourselves up. Good. Gaze all the way front and up. It's also called Sphinx pose. Slowly come down. Take a resting breath. Now the palms are below the shoulders and legs are together, pushing the thighs down, lifting the upper body, using the entire strength from the back. Gaze front and up. So we are getting into the cobra pose, and the variation that we'll adopt today is lifting your palms off the mat. So entire upper body weight is onto the back, lifting the palms off the mat. Good. Slowly come down. And we'll be doing that one more time. All the variations of cobra pose is beneficial. So let's do one more time. Lifting, pressing through the thighs down, lifting ourselves up, and then very gently taking the palms off the mat. Gaze in the front and up. Good. Inhalation. And as you exhale, slowly come down. This time bend your right knee in the T shape or cactus shape, and the right hand also. The left hand can rest in the back. So right knee is bent. We are kind of in an H shape with the leg and also with the arm. Good. Now come back to the center. Bringing. This time, legs are together. Palms are rested below the thighs. And we are lifting the right leg up as high as you can. And then down. Left leg up. Reach high. And then down. Once again, right leg goes up. And down. Left leg goes up. And then down. This time, when the right leg is going up, you're kicking the leg and bending the left knee, supporting the right leg with the left foot. So, there. So take the right leg all the way up, bend the left knee, support the right leg through the left foot. Salamba Shalabhasana. Supported locust pose. Very nice. Slowly, very nice. Slowly release. The same thing is we are going to do onto the other side. Kick the left leg, support it using the right foot. Allow your body to relax in this position. There is so much going on. Body is trying to balance and stretch. Slowly release. And then we are going to shift the H shape onto the left side this time. So left knee is bent, left arm is bent, and gaze is onto the left side. Slowly come back to center. We are bending the right foot and holding the right foot with the right hand. Left arm will go into the front. We are kicking the leg, bring ourselves up, and the left arm is raised. Continue to breathe deeply and then slowly come down. The same thing is on to the other side. Right arm is into the front, and left hand is holding the left toes, and then kicking the leg, lifting the right. Slowly come down. If your body allows, then you can do the complete Dhanurasana, bending both knees. And if you have severe back pain, then you should avoid it. But at the same time, you can try as best you can. Hold the toes and then lift. Slowly bring yourself down. Then we are going to roll over and rest onto our back. Separate your legs, separate your arms. Allow the body to relax. Now bring arms by the side of the body, palm facing down. Heels will come very close to the hips. Very gently, we are lifting ourselves up to the bridge pose. Lift the pelvic region all the way up and then bring it down. Once again, lifting. So inhale and lift. Exhale and then slowly bring it down. Once again, inhalation. Lift, lift, lift. Pelvic region all the way up. Exhale, slowly bring it down. Extend the left leg into the front. Right knee will come close to the chest. We'll hug the knee very gently, tucking. Any acute bend should be done very carefully. Very gently. And then release. Left knee will come close and then hug the left knee while right leg is straight. Nice. And then release. Bend both the knees and soles of feet will be at least the mat width distance apart. Arms in the T shape. So again, notice the feet are mat width distance apart and they are not moving. Only the knees will move. So both the knees will come to the left side and gaze goes to the right side. Inhale, bring them up towards the ceiling. Both the knees goes to the right, gaze to the left. Inhalation, knee high. Exhalation, knees are coming down. Inhalation, knees are raised high. Exhalation, knees are coming down. You can close your eyes and do this few times. At your own speed, with your own capacity, very gently do this. And notice that this will relieve any pressure or tension which might have been built into the lower back region. So it relaxes the lower back. Good. The next time your knees are onto the right side, they are down. Now keep them there, lift the right ankle and place them on top of the left knee. So right ankle is lifted and it is stacked on top of the left. Staying there. Slowly unwind. Knees are high, and as they come down to the left side, this time the left ankle will be stacked on top of the right knee. Very nice. Now release, come back to center. If you have belt accessible to you, then bring both the knees close to you and then extend the left leg onto the mat. You're going to use the belt and wrap it around the ball of the foot, so which is just below the toes. And raise it high. Raise it. So straight leg. Both the legs are straight. You're holding the toes using the belt. Now slowly take the belt onto the right hand. Lower down the leg onto the right side. Right leg slowly lowering down to the right side. Good. However much you can, it may come all the way to the floor or it may not, so which is okay. Just feel the stretch. Good. Slowly bring it back up. Now change the hand. So we are now holding the belt onto the left hand and then slowly bringing the leg down onto the left side. So right leg is coming onto the left side. Right hand will be in T shape. Both the shoulders or shoulder blades will be on the mat. So if you are lifting your shoulders off the mat, you have gone too far. Both the shoulder blades are onto the mat. You can turn your head onto the opposite side of the leg. Good, slowly come back. And then bend your knee and release. The same thing we are going to do on the other side. Both straight legs. Notice the stretch into the leg region. First taking the belt onto the left hand and lowering the leg to the left side. The right hand into the T shape. Feel the stretch. Enjoy the stretch. Taking it all the way up towards the ceiling. Hold it onto the right side, belt holding onto the right hand, and then lowering it down. And gaze is onto the left side. So once again, both the shoulder blades are onto the left. Slowly lift them up. And then release. You're going to bend both the knees. Once again, hug the knees. This time, spread them wide and bring it close to the armpits. The left knee is coming to the left armpit. The right knee is coming to the right arm. Again, do not pressurize too much. Very gently, just guiding it. Now take arms between the knees and then raise your soles of the feet up towards the ceiling. Knees are bent and feet are pressing towards the fingers, and fingers are folding, so arms are folding. So there is a gentle pressure. Now notice the entire spine is rested onto the mat. We have a natural curve in our lower back, but in this position, that curve becomes straight and then entire spine is rested on the mat. Now very gently, close your eyes and swing side to side, giving a gentle massage to the entire back region. Very gently. Gives the massage to the entire back. We are into the happy baby pose, Ananda Balasana. Ananda Balasana. Slowly come back to center and then release. You can open your eyes. Now we are getting into our one more pose before going to Shavasana. So for that, I invite you to bring your blocks. So one block is at a little bit height. Another block is a few inches away from it to support the back. So one is going to support the head, another is going to support the head. If you have a cushion and would like to utilize that, you can just put the cushion on top of them, or you can just lie off the block. So okay, or probably not. You want to bring the block close to the lower back. And you can adjust the height. So if you want to first go on to the lower setting of the block, you can do that. For me, the middle setting works better. And then the other block will support the head. In here, you can either bend your knees, separate your legs, and let the knee rest, touch on each other. This is one variation. Or you can extend both the legs into the front. Arms can remain sideways down, or maybe right palm onto the belly, left palm on the chest. We are into Bhishmasana. You can stay on this pose. Again, it broadens the shoulder, supports the back, provides supportive back bend. Nice. One inhalation and exhalation. Very gently go to the right side or left side and then come out. For resting, you can use a chair. So you can bring chair onto the mat and then lie down in a way that your shins are rested onto the chair. So shin, this calf muscles are rested on the chair, arms at 45 degrees outward, or left hand onto the heart, right hand onto the belly, and allow yourself to completely relax. We did a lot of asana poses today. Bending, forward bending, back bending, lengthening, side bending, twisting. We have stimulated the entire back to a great extent. Now let's allow those asana poses to take its effect by gently doing nothing, just completely. Relax your calf muscles, thigh muscles, hip region, abdomen region, chest region, lower neck and upper back. That's your neck region and head region. Relax for the arm. Relax the entire from toes all the way to the top. Give your body full permission to do absolutely, absolutely receive showers. Slowly bring a little bit movement in your toes, fingers. Keep the eyes closed and bring knees close to the chest. Roll over to the right side and use the strength of the arm to come back to the seated position. We'll be seated cross-legged. Now notice once again, what is the state of the body, state of mind. Notice the shift that today's yoga session has brought to you. Rub your thoughts. Cover your eyes. Gently open. Okay, we have only a couple of minutes, so we'll close today's session with one single sound of O followed by closing prayer. So together we are going to chant. Once again, adopt the Chin Mudra. Spine is in upright position, shoulders are broad, elbows up. Receive a deep, deep, deep full breath in. Hands in the heart center into a position. Together we are going to chant. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhina Sarve Santu Niramaya Sarve Bhadrani Paschantu Ma Kaschit Dukkha Bhag Bhave. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Once again, cover your palms, cover your eyes, and very gently, blinking and blinking, open your eyes. So, thank you so much everyone for joining today's session. I can pause the recording, and then if you have any question, you can definitely ask them.